The line has to be drawn here, this far and no further!
Hey everyone, Mikey here, and today I have a showcase video for my Ferengi theme build on the Tier 6 Eisenberg Star Cruiser, which is this year's winter event ship. I will say that when this ship was first announced, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. However, now that I have flown it for a few days, it is definitely growing on me. I am enjoying flying this ship, and I will say it is definitely a ship worth getting, especially if you're going to be a free-to-play player or even a player on a tight budget. I am not the biggest fan of the 32nd century ships in general. However, this one is, in my opinion, the better looking of the bunch. The only gripe I have about the looks of this ship is the extremely long tail. If the tail was a little shorter, perhaps in line with the impulse engines, I think it would look better, but again, that's just my opinion. Now let's get to the build. Because I'm going with a Ferengi theme for this ship, I'm using the Ferengi plasma dual beam banks up front. These are actually fairly good. They're not the best plasma, but they have their uses. For the torpedo, I'm using the rapid fire missile launcher, which comes from the Lobby store. And in all honesty, it is garbage. Save your Lobby. I only got it because it fits the theme. The other two pieces in this set definitely do not get. Save your Lobby, as both the mine and the console don't really do much, and the two-piece and three-piece sets are, yeah, they don't help at all. Save your Lobby. For the deflector, I'm using the Colony deflector, comparative impulse engines, Tilly warp core, and Tilly shield for the two-piece. Pretty much standard on all my DPS builds. Aft weapons, I'm using the ultimate Plasma Omni, because Plasma fits the theme. I'm using the Tetrion mine launcher. It is similar to the Ferengi one, but far superior, plus this is a mission reward, so it's a lot easier to get. A Ferengi plasma turret, to fit the build, of course, because it's Ferengi and plasma. And I have the Dark Matter Quantum slotted in the aft because I am using the Lorcator, and definitely want to take advantage of that two-piece for the stacking crit. I'm using the console that comes with this ship, the Great Material Continuum. It's an okay console. Doesn't do anything great, but it's not that bad. Baronero Infusion, of course, for the crit. Tachynetic Converter for the crit and the flight turn. Ordnance Accelerator to help the one mine I have, and also to help boost the damage from the missiles, which are desperately needed. Because I'm doing beam overload, I'm using Domino for the cycle haste. Point defense bombardment, again, more projectile damage to help those missiles, and a little bit of crit. And because I'm using the DPRM for the two-piece, which boosts plasma. Another theme console for this build, and that's the Hostile Acquisition. The debuff on this is actually quite substantial, and this console is actually pretty easy to get. You can get them decently cheap on the exchange, and they come in the cross-faction salvage console boxes from the Infinity box. Tactical consoles using the Fury Torment engine to help boost the plasma, and also vulnerability locators for the crits. For personal space traits, I'm using self-modulated fire for the shield pen. A good day to die because I'm a tactical, and this allows go down fighting to be a renewable clicky. Unconventional systems, which is most likely one of the most important personal space traits out there. I highly recommend you go and get one, if able. Superior beam training from the Fleet K-13 holdings. Fragment of AI tech for the extra energy weapon damage. Hot Pursuit to increase the chase distance of my mine. Inspirational Leader for the extra skill points. Intelligence Agent Attaché for the captain cooldown reduction. Terran Targeting for the crits. And of course, Boimler Effect for the bridge officer cooldowns. Starship Traits, because beam overload, you have to have emergency weapon cycle for the power cost and the cycle haste. Universal Designs for the crits. super weapon Ingenuity to increase the duration of beam overload. I'm using rapid emitting armaments because the plasma torpedoes fit the theme of Ferengi plasma. Plus, it's always fun to try not to blow yourself up. Rune of our enemies for the extra damage and the reduced and even more cooldown reduction. And supercharged weapons from the tactical flagships. I am using this because the missiles are rapid fire, so I can get the stacks very quickly and keep the stacks up at all times. Space reputations, again, pretty much standard for energy weapon DPS. Tylo's Duality, Omega Gravitron, Magnified Firepower, Advanced Targeting, and Precision. For stations, I'm using Chemocyte-laced weapons for the debuff. Mixed armament synergy because I have all types of weapons, so why not? Narrow sensor bands 3 to help with it's a Cat 2 energy weapon damage, which is very good on a beam overload build. Torpedo high yield 1, beam overload 2. For engineering, using emergency power to weapons for the extra damage and to proc emergency weapon cycle. Emit unstable warp bubble because it is a unconventional systems proc. Directed energy modulation for the extra shield pen. And eject warp plasma because again it is another unconventional systems proc. For the science, all these abilities are unconventional systems procs, so this build has a total of 5. Tractor beam, also because it will proc rapid emitting armaments, jam targeting sensors, and photonic shockwave. And because this is the Eisenberg and a Ferengi theme, I did go out and grab a copy of the hologram Nog, and I've slotted him in the Ensign Engineering Command spot, and I've given him overwhelm emitters. So that's the build. So now we will go to the ISE, and we will see you afterwards for the parse explanation. There was the ISE, and as you could tell, it was not the cleanest run, but it was still successful. Looking at the parse, this build did exceptionally well for a theme build, at 262k. I am very happy with that, and it did exceed my expectations, further proving the point that this ship is a very solid ship. We had Neojet, who is a mad scientist, doing one of his awesome control builds, and yeah, he did very well. Grumpy Old Nord, who hosted this event on his stream, did very well as well, 346k. Our friend Sphinx barely beat me out, and I'm a little bit upset at that, but it is what it is. He did very good, 267. And our friend Rob was tanking, and yeah, he is one of the better tanks in the game. Now, looking at the individual reports, as expected, the dual beam banks did the most at 86k, which is actually very good for those weapons. Pets was 34, and that is primarily the heavy plasma torpedoes from rapid emitting armaments. And they also had the max one hit of 531, which is quite good for an energy weapon build. The one single mine did 16k, which is actually very good, especially considering that mine is a mission reward. The single turret, 13k, and that was unbuffed, which is actually quite good. And proving my point about the missile, 8k with a max hit of 84k. As I said earlier, save your Lobi. It is a waste. I only got it because it fits the theme. Otherwise, I would never even consider buying it, let alone slotting it. I hope everyone has enjoyed my Ferengi theme build on the Tier 6 Eisenberg Star Cruiser. I had a lot of fun putting this ship together. And it just reaffirms my opinion that this is a very solid ship, and one of the better event ships we have gotten recently. I will be doing more wacky theme builds in the near future on a few other ships. So until the next video, I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.